Hey, it's Jordan. I just wanted to let you know that I launched a new podcast titled Screenwriters Talk Screenwriting. It'll have screenwriter interviews, but also provide script tips, writing tricks, advice, and more on screenwriting. Every Screenwriters Talk Screenwriting episode will be a new subject. I've added the second episode here titled The Grateful 10 Episode, and it features 5 deadline junkies who talk about what they're grateful for. You can find it wherever you podcast. Please enjoy this episode of Screenwriters Talk Screenwriting.
Let's just do it. You guys ready? We're going live.
Live? Aren't you editing it?
No, I think Jordan it's an expression.
It's a joke. It's a joke from 2000.
Oh, good Lord.
That'll be a nightmare if we did it live.
Oh, look, we're out to like 900 viewers right now.
Oh,
That's what scares me. Like, who's listening to this right now?
all right. Welcome to Screenwriters Talk Screenwriting. This is a very special episode, I guess. This is the grateful episode. It's a week before Thanksgiving, and I have several of my awesome screenwriting and actress friends. We're going to go around saying what we're thankful for. Whole purpose of this episode is because there's a lot of rejection in the entertainment industry. We go through a lot. We write a lot, or we always wait for like what scripts are going to happen. It takes a lot of perseverance. I think we all wish we were further than we were. But on the other side of that, we're doing a lot. If I invited you to this podcast, you're a doer and not just like a waiter. You know what I mean?
In both sense of the word.
Yeah, we're making things happen.
The doers.
Yeah, the doers, exactly. All right, so for the fun of chaos, can we all yell Screenwriters Talk Screenwriting? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Screenwriters Talk Screenwriting.
Perfect.
Screenwriters talk screenwriting. Screenwriters talk screenwriting. Screenwriters talk screenwriting.
Although I feel like a fraud because I'm not a screenwriter.
Either.
You're acting though. You're acting like a screenwriter.
Oh, how about collaborative artists support collaborative artists? Doesn't have the same ring to it, I know.
Oh, it doesn't.
I'd say both of you are keyed in enough to like our table reading stuff that like you're aware of the screenwriting process a little bit.
That's true. Yeah.
And I think it's super important as a screenwriter. I think it's super important also to know actors because like you get to do table reads. Like it's one of my grateful things, like table reads, because I know all these awesome actors I can have table reads with. You should know producers, directors, because it just you learn more from them. When I see you act, I know how to write better dialogue based on the actors I have. Because if I never talked to actors, I would just be writing, I think, shitty dialogue all the time. So yeah,
you're incapable of shitty dialogue, Jordan. Come on.
I mean, I think I was, but not anymore.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's say your name and then actress or screenwriter or both for you now, and then we'll do the grateful 10.
Okay, cool. Well, hello everybody. I'm Marisa Dzintars. I'm a writer, actor, filmmaker, multi-hyphenate.
Yay!
Woo!
Woo! I think I'm next. Hi everyone. I'm Gloria Garayua. I'm an actress and an acting teacher and coach. Yay!
I guess I'm next. All right, I'm Jordan Imiola. If you're listening to the podcast, you probably know who I am. Screenwriter and also writing coach.
Hi, I'm Gloria Tsai, and I am an actor, voice actor. That's about it. Maybe I should try writing.
If you stay around Jordan long enough, he'll make you know.
It's true in Marissa's case. Go ahead, David.
And I am David Wingert. I'm typically last whenever we go alphabetical order by last name. I'm used to that. I am a screenwriter, and I think I owe often a comedy screenwriter, and I think I owe that to Jordan for the most part. He kind of got me into that.
Yeah. And you're a director too.
And director, yeah.
That's pretty big right now.
Also, kind of because of Jordan.
I guess. All right.
I'm giving you a lot of credit, Jordan. You're a big influence on me.
Aww.
Thank you.
I'm not just saying that because this is your podcast.
I'm adding David to my grateful 10 right now.
Oh, that's so sweet.
All right, so again, this is like kind of just chaotic. I want this podcast to be fun. I think the other podcast I do, it's very professional. There's a lot of order to it. This one I want to just kind of riff and have fun with. So I'm thinking to see who goes first. I'll just does anybody know that website, by the way? You can like do the circle and then take
Yes, it's the Wheel of Names Picker or Name Picker.
All right, let me Google
You
it
do
really-
Wheel of Names, I think it'll pop up and you
Ooh,
can
Yeah.
just,
fun.
Yeah, I've seen it before, but I couldn't remember what it was called. Wheel of Names Random Name Picker. Okay, awesome. We'll do that. Oh, it's still safe from last time I used this. Cool.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I got it right now. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, so if you're picked, you do your Grateful 10. Okay, here we go. First one up,
My heart's
Gloria.
beating.
Oh, I go
You.
first. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I feel like I'm winning an Academy Award and I'm thanking God first. So I want to thank God first. And then here's my list. um, okay, so you said the last 10 years things that I'm grateful for. So that took me back to 2014. So I want to say that I'm really grateful that I actually did achieve booking the lead in a pilot, even though the pilot didn't get picked up. I think that's a huge achievement. So I'm very grateful for that. So most of these are professional. The second one, I'm grateful that in my lifetime I have booked a series regular and that this took me to Australia and I worked there for 4 months and I just loved every second of it. I'm
Awesome.
also grateful that I ended up qualifying to be a member of the Television Academy and that by now I actually qualify for 2 peer groups. So I'm a member of the on camera and I'm a member of the animation. I'm excited about that. Number 4, I'm grateful that I finally built up a nice voiceover career. Number 5, I've managed to grow my teaching career as well. So let's move on because I can go into detail on that, but I won't. Okay, number 6, I've managed to make money as an artist for 20 years, 20 plus years, actually.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
That's a big deal that I've had other jobs, but I've still always been an artist.
It was fun with Dick and Jane, the first credit that allowed you to do that.
Yes, yes. A 20-second side note, when I moved to LA, I auditioned for Fun with Dick and Jane and another project in the same week, and I booked them both. So I actually don't remember which one came first. And I honestly thought the rest of my career would be like that. Like I just thought, oh, I'll book everything I auditioned for. That's not how it works. I just got spoiled the first week I started auditioning. Go figure. So that's not something I recommend for everyone because it really was a slap in the face when I realized that's not how it works. Okay, I think we're up to number 7. I've been in Los Angeles for 20 years. And before that I was in New York. And I just think that's a big deal that I haven't had to leave here because I've managed to be successful. So that's a big deal to me. Number 8, even though these aren't in order, I want to be grateful for my health. I realize without your health, you cannot do anything. And we all know that when you're sick, you're just not the best artist you can be, no matter how hard you try. You're working on fumes, excuse me. All right, number 9, I'm grateful that the pandemic didn't drive me out of LA. I actually worked during the pandemic. That's a big accomplishment. And number 10, but I have 2 more if you let me. Number 10, I've reached a level of stardom where people know me, but only by face. And I love that. I love that people are like, I know you, but I don't know how I know you. I love that because I want my anonymity, but I still want to feel like my work is getting recognized. So I'm okay with people not knowing my name, believe it or not. And then the last 2 are small. I'm grateful for my team, my agent and my manager, and I'm grateful for the longevity of my career. Because I've booked things long ago that people still know today, and I'm grateful for that. Like Grey's Anatomy is one of them. So that's really nice.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you for the opportunity of being grateful in front of fellow artists.
Yeah, of course. Just going back to number 10 too. Like I know when I saw Found like a few weeks ago, I was like, that's Gloria. Like I like stood up because I had no idea you were going to be on Found until we were just watching it. And then my wife and I were just watching, and I'm like, that's Gloria, we know her.
Yeah.
So, and then I went on Instagram and saw you posted about it. I was like, oh yeah, she knows.
She did tell some people. Okay.
Yeah, Jordan
Yeah.
literally texted me that night, like in all caps. He's like, "Oh my gosh, Gloria's like on such and such a show." I was
Aw,
like,
that's very meaningful to me. And just a side note, and you can edit this out, Jordan, but like I recently had a death in my world. And so like I'm feeling very, very, very grateful to just be here and to be amongst you all and to know that like I didn't know that you guys were supporting me behind the scenes and you were. That's very meaningful. So thank you.
That's like a tearjerker moment.
Well, maybe you'll keep it after all.
Yeah.
I knew I put on makeup for a reason.
The dramatic effect of the weeping mascara is just like, Gloria, you just always get me with your performance.
Wearing waterproof.
No, it's been really fun. It's always fun to like spot someone you see in a show and you're like, I know them. And that's happened a number of times with you. It's really
Oh,
always.
really? I do that with others too. It just feels like, wow, my friends are working. I'm amongst people that work. It's just nice to know, wow, I've achieved this like status where I know these folks. They're not strangers. They're not unapproachable. So it's nice to know that. Yeah. All right, I'm done. So someone else wants to go.
All right. All right, going back to the wheel of names. Here we go. Can you guys hear the sound, by the way?
Mm-mm.
No, you don't hear that? Oh, okay. There's a little sound with it.
Can you sing it?
And
I can.
it's all right, it's me. All right, so my grateful 10. Again, this is no order, but yeah, all right, I'll say number one. It's kind of general, but like people in my life, my family, my friends, my wife, people who support me pretty much, and are always with me, support my writing. I think especially with the first screenplay I ever sold, I don't think I could have done it without my wife because she kept pushing me to finish it. So I had the first act done and she loved the first act. And then I had a producer interested in it, but she kept on my back saying, you got to finish the screenplay. You got to finish the screenplay. And I finished it and then I optioned it like pretty much right after I finished it. But I don't think I would have been able to option it and then sell it without her. Okay, second one, my clients, I'm like teaching and coaching screenwriting a lot more, especially this past year. And it just feels super rewarding. I love helping them out, but also it's rewarding for me a lot too. Just seeing like helping people who are stuck on an idea and actually seeing them develop pages and seeing them get excited. I try to have my clients usually write like 10 pages a week. And the first week they're always like intimidated, like, what do you mean 10 pages? And then eventually when they get to page 30, they're like, yeah, I can do it. And I love seeing that energy and seeing them, grow and become a screenwriter. And I always try to, when they finish their first draft, I always tell them like, go out and celebrate, go get sushi, go. And it's just super rewarding for me. And I love doing that. So, and I love clients who find me and hearing their stories. And I love seeing where they're from because I have like people in Canada now and LA and just kind of across the nation, which is really cool. So also Zoom, I think is kind of grateful. I'm grateful for Zoom because of that too, because Zoom makes that happen. Okay, third thing, Christmas staycation. Pandemic was the most depressing era of our lives, I think. I was depressed for like at least 6 months. Everything I wrote, I did not like during that time. And then it was cool to turn something negative to a positive because I had an idea of writing a Christmas movie where people couldn't see each other in person. So they had a virtual Christmas party on Zoom. And like a lot of you were part of that. I couldn't have done that without you. And it was so cool to just like have a group project towards the end of the year. And we all did it within like 3 months. That was an awesome way to end 2020, turning a negative year to a great year in the end. Number 4 also kind of has to do with that. Hell yes, people. And I think this is a term I'm going to coin Marisa with. Because I think you're the one who told me hell yes, people. Hell yes, people are like people who like say yes to a project and then they like go beyond. And I know like Marisa and David, I've worked with you several times and both of you are these people. Christmas Staycation, for example, like Marisa, not only did you act in it, but then one day you sent me a poster and I was like, yes.
Oh.
Like you said, that project was a good escape for everybody at the end of that year. We're like collaborative family project and like huge distraction from, the world falling apart.
Yeah. But it was just so cool to like also see people join in and then like I asked them to do like one thing and then they're like, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And like, here you go, here's this free thing. And it was just awesome. And I like I use the term hell yes, people. Which I think, Marisa, I think you're the one who taught me that term. I think
Sounds like
maybe
something I would say.
Yeah, I think you said it like 2019, 2020. And I noticed that like there's some people I ask, I'm like, hey, do you want to work on this project? And then they're like, let me get back to you, or let me check my schedule. And they're the let me check my schedule people. I like the people who go, yes, let's figure out a time, let's do it, and we just get it done. And I'm finding more of those people now in Buffalo, but I just love people who, and I think pretty much everyone here is like that. They're like, yeah, you all replied yes to the email. It wasn't like, hey, let me check my schedule. You're like, yeah, I want to be on this podcast. Let's make it happen. So love hell yes, people. All right, next thing. I'm also thankful for time in LA. I was there for 12 years. I did get kind of sick of it towards the end. I just got sick of traffic. I did not like being in the car so much. But I am thankful for all the time in LA because I learned so much. I worked for a bunch of production companies. I had a bunch of different jobs. for different studios and like different CEOs as well. And I feel like I learned so much from all these people, and I still apply to the things I learned to this day. And it was a really good, not only education, but experience. So I'm very thankful for that. And I feel like I was there, the years I was there were like the years I definitely should have been there. I feel like. And let's see. Okay. Next thing is music. I just love music. I love this is like a random one, but music just cheers me up whenever I need to like be cheered up. When I'm writing, I always have like music in the background. I usually listen to Triple J, and it's Australian, and I'm not like even paying attention to it half the time, but it just drives me. And as I'm writing, I always listen to music. And I also love concerts. Like concerts are my favorite things to do in the summertime. So yeah, I love music. All right, I think this is 9. Ooh, I'm running out of things.
You're up to 7. I'm keeping track.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Because I like being reminded, what have I forgotten to be grateful for?
Yeah.
So I'm writing them down for that reason. That's all.
Cool. Table reads. I mean, and Deadline Junkies, our writing group, but I think table reads have helped my script so much. They also provide deadlines for me, because I will plan a table read a month from now, and then 2 weeks before that, I'm like, oh, I gotta get writing, because I've already scheduled table reads with all these people. And the notes you all provide, the acting, like the 3 actors here, like you're all amazing, and like you all bring my characters to life. And so not only do I look forward to having the deadline to make the script good, but like I love hearing the characters come to life and talk to me in like different ways than I could just writing it. And I'm always like learning more about the characters when actors act them out than even before I was writing it. So table reads are immensely helpful. I kind of calculated this last week, and I think I've done over 150 table reads over the past like 12 years. And then with like Deadline Junkies, I've experienced more than 1,000. So they're so helpful. I think table reads are something, if you're not a screenwriter and regularly, I think you don't know what a table read experience is like until you do your first one. Then you're like, wow, this I should be doing this all the time. So table reads for sure. How many I got? More? I got 2 left, or one? One left, Gloria.
Keep going.
It's
It's your podcast.
That's true. That's true.
As many as you want.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this up into one. I think our health also I'm very grateful for, but I think physical health, mental health, and walking. I walk my dog every day now for like 20 minutes a day, and it not only provides like clarity in my mind, but if I don't walk, my mind's like, no, you've got to walk. You should, like, it's a habit I have now. And I also kind of meditate during it as well. And I think just walking for 20 minutes a day, and it's proven scientifically, it like produces happy chemicals as you walk. So I'll say I'm also thankful for podcasts, because I'm doing this one, and there's a lot of podcasts to listen to when I walk. So I'll say podcasts. I'll sneak that in there as a bonus. But I'm also going to go, my last one I think will be coffee.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yes. Cheers.
I drink it every day when I wake up. I love that first sip, as I sip right now.
It's that one pleasure, right?
Yeah. And coffee shops. There's a coffee shop in Buffalo called Spa Coffee. They have like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 locations. But all of them are pretty unique. There's always like art on the wall that inspires me. There's always conversations around me. Those like, I'm like, oh, for like my dialogue, I'm like, oh, that's cool how this person's talking or whatever. And the people are really nice. And for writing, when I go to a coffee shop, it helps me focus way more than when I'm at home. If I'm at home, my dog wants to play with me, or my cats, or I have laundry or whatever, but coffee shops are a great place to write for me. And I always enjoy the coffee. All right. So those are my grateful 10.
Good.
Woo.
Very good.
All right. I'm going to put the sound on so you guys can hear the wheel of randomness. Hold on. All right. You ready? Glow. Oh, Gloria.
Oh, there's this.
Oh, now we hear this sound.
That's so nice.
That was our studio audience.
Okay.
I guess I have to obviously speak from an actor point of view, because I don't think of myself as a writer, but hopefully one day I will get there and do some writing, maybe some screenwriting. But next year will be my 10-year anniversary of going into acting. So next summer I will hit 10 years. So I'm like, last 10 years. Okay, I can probably think of some things. And one of the things that I will say started my acting career was a personal professional development workshop. So think something along the lines of like Tony Robbins or Landmark. There's a lot of those types of things. And I went to one because of my corporate job, and they paid for me to go, and I went to it. And one of the things I took away from it was, are you pursuing your passions and the things that you want to do in life? And I was like, oh, sure enough, and then I quit that corporate job. So ironic of them to send me to that. But that thing, that personal development workshop led me to go into acting, because that was a passion that I had since I was young and wasn't doing anything. I wasn't an artist, and I was like, okay, I'm going to pursue this. So that's kind of the first thing that I'm thankful for, that got me into going into the life of an artist. And then second, definitely Deadline Junkies for obvious reasons. It was actually a chance encounter. I met a fellow actor at a table reading, and he was like, oh, you're new to LA? And I was like, yeah, I was only maybe 3 months in to being in LA. And he was like, there's this writing group called Deadline Junkies. You should read for them, because they're always looking for actors to read for their groups. And I was like, okay, that's great practice. And here I am. It's led me to you all. And I love that. And then the third thing is, the very first play that I booked in LA was the Joy Luck Club at Sierra Madre Playhouse. I had not done a play since high school, and it was the first like major project I booked out here when I got here, the very first summer that I was here in LA. And that particular play led me to kind of a small Chinese American actor family that I'm a part of here in LA. So that was, kind of a blessing. The fourth thing is just acting studios. There's so many out here, but fellow actors recommended specific ones, and a fellow actor led me to Leslie Kahn, because he knew that I was interested in television and being a television actor. And so I studied there. So I'm grateful for learning to be a better actor through that particular studio. The fifth is a particular director here in LA. Her name is Tracy Lehman, and she is actually a friend from middle school and high school. Before I got out to LA, I was like, hey, let me reach out to the people that I do know in LA and ask them about all things industry related. What's it like, as for an actor? What kind of places should I go for, training and this, that, and the other? And she was a huge resource. She led me to various successes as far as like acting studios in Austin before I came to LA, and then obviously other things here in LA as well. Moving on, number 6, I'm also thankful for the small theater that I then, got to be a part of, which is Sierra Madre Playhouse. They are one of those small community theaters, 99 seats, and they have a long history. They were originally like a movie theater back in the 20s or something like that. And so now they still put on some plays, local plays, and music acts, I guess, musical things. And I got to do a second play there that was in fall of 2022. Because of my having done that first play there, I stayed in touch, and they were like, okay, here's the auditions, come audition for XYZ. And I tried multiple times and then booked that second one. 7th, I would also like to thank my agents and my team and managers, all those wonderful people that have you on their roster, because they think like you're great. They want you to be there. They want you to work, and they think that we're helping each other, as far as all that goes. The 8th thing is, I'm very grateful for also my voice acting career, similar to Gloria. Like, it is kind of this surprise thing. I came out here for acting, for on-camera acting, and did not realize that I could also branch out to voice acting. And that's been a very huge blessing in disguise, as far as doing it from home, learning about it during the pandemic when everyone was at home. And all these voice actors that I had just met right before the pandemic were like, oh, we're staying busy. We're at home, like recording. I was like, okay. And that's how that took off. And the ninth thing is The Artist's Way. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the book.
The book, right? The book.
The book, yes,
I
yes.
should do it again.
Yeah, right. It's such a great little tool for us artists. Doesn't matter if you're a writer, screenwriter, actor. I actually received it as a Christmas present from my sister the Christmas before the pandemic. And so then when the pandemic happened, I started reading it. I started doing my morning pages, which I still do every morning.
Me too.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
me.
It's okay. And then, and then I tried to have an artist a date with myself, once a week. So that's been a blessing. And I'm very grateful for that book. And then the last thing, of course, family and friends, what I call the F's, the family, friends, and fans who, support me in this journey, because obviously it's been difficult as a new person coming in to LA, new to acting, new to LA. But, the family, the friends, and the fans have all supported me, not only financially here and there, but also just emotionally. And like you said, Jordan, like, a lot of them are hell yes people. They're like, yeah, go for it, try it, whatever, and let's do it. And so I'm really grateful for that, because I think without the family, friends, and fans, I would not have lasted this long here in LA. I would have, like many people during the pandemic, gone back home to Texas, and like, oh, I'm gonna give up on acting or whatever. But no, I'm still here, thanks to all of those wonderful people.
Yay.
Woo! All right. Spin the wheel one more time. Here we go. Marisa.
Yay.
Hey, no, I was like, no studio applause. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Happy to be here. Okay, hopefully I don't like wax on too long about any of these. My number one is, the people, like the Deadline Junkies community has supported me in so many ways, even outside of like the creative world. But like anyone who's ever worked on one of my productions, or any of my scene partners I've ever had that have been so generous, or just like LA, I've been here like 18 years or something, and have such a community of people in all the different fields of entertainment. And it's just an honor to be a part of this world. And I'm grateful for everyone who I've ever been in a room with. Thank you, everybody. Number two is just the art form itself. As an actor, like, well, I guess as a human, whenever I'm like going through something or having emotions, like I don't like feeling them. And so as an actor, if I get a script, that emotion can like flow through, and it just is like a release. I'm like a kettle steaming, and I can tell if it's like I need to act because I'm too full of stuff. And so I'm grateful that that's an opportunity to do so, kind of lose control, whereas writing has been awesome for like gaining control. Like I can control what people say and do, and God complex, I don't know, but it's a way to like feel in control. And I'm just grateful for the art form altogether. Number three is the response to, I made a movie about human trafficking in Las Vegas, and it had a good, like really good social media promotion, but the the most rewarding thing to me about making that project was like private emails and messages we got of just people being grateful for like drawing attention to the cause, and whether it's helping an individual person or somebody that they know. It was just like this whole project would be great if it helped one person, and that response was really rewarding, and I'm grateful that we made it.
Beyond
Number
the neon.
four,
You gotta plug
Beyond the Neon plug.
Being on the what?
Beyond the
Beyond
neon.
the Neon.
Beyond the Neon is the title?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The title.
Oh, okay.
Now the audience
So-
is definitely gonna know it. Before they're like, what's it called? Now they all know it. Okay, boom. Mission accomplished.
Shameless plug, Beyond the Neon. Stream on Amazon Prime. Four is also in this world. Every day is a new challenge. I learn something new every day. There's so much growth in this industry. And I don't think I could do a job where every day is the same thing and every single day is different. And I'm grateful for that. Number 5 is the teacher specifically. Like, I think it's easy to either start acting into a void or writing into a void, but when you're working with a teacher and getting that feedback, it's invaluable. And I could list specific teachers that I'm really grateful for, but we would be here for like 8 hours, but I'm grateful for all of them. Number 6 is I'm grateful for cloud-based writing software and Zoom and this tech that allows us to be collaborative and connected from all over the country and all over the world. It's something that didn't really exist even like 5 years ago. I don't know if some of these like writing softwares were cloud-based, and grateful for the tech and grateful for when it works, because sometimes it doesn't. So it's kind of like when you're like stuffy or have a cold, like you guys said with your health, like you kind of take it for granted that you can breathe. And then so like that with technology, when it's just working, you're just like, oh yeah, it should work. But then when it doesn't work and you're like, oh. So thankful for when the tech does work. Number 7, just the independence that filmmaking gives. I moved to LA 18 years ago as an actor, never anticipating and being like a producer, a filmmaker, but through the writer strikes or the pandemic, I've always had a project in the works, and that's always kept me engaged. And I'm grateful that that has been a resource and there's been a supportive community around that just to keep things going. Like we said at the beginning of this episode, I think that there can be so much rejection as a writer, as an actor. So having that control of filmmaking, I'm grateful that that became a part of my life, even unwittingly. Number 8, the supporters, I guess, friends, like Gloria's like 3 Fs, like family, friends, fans, anyone who like you can support your friend who's a writer or actor by like liking their poster, sharing their poster, giving a review on IMDb. Those are free things you can do to support. And I'm grateful for people who support artists. And specifically, I was recently making the credit roll for one of our movies where we had a GoFundMe, and was looking over the list of donators, and I was sobbing putting this list together. There was like people from high school I haven't talked to in 10 years who donated, and just like different people from like around the country that I've known from who knows what, and I'm just sobbing that people would like contribute to this project. So grateful.
Is it Love at First Sight?
Yeah.
It's Love at First Sight.
Other plug.
Plug it away. Love at First Sight.
Like the second plug coming 2025. Love at First Sight.
We're all either in this movie or wrote this movie or David
We're
directed.
all part of this movie. That should be part of like the community.
Love at First Sight. Hopefully next year. It'll come out next year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Love at First.
And we need a whole podcast about Love at First Sight. Because I know like since all of us were a part of it, we could probably go on about that for far too long too. Number 9 is mine are all just like different groups of people in hindsight. I wrote down the enthusiasm of youngins. Being in this industry for so long, and the past 5 years, I've done a lot of my jobs have been doing art department and commercials, and I can get really burnt out on that and get salty about the whole industry. But then there was like a girl under me who was like doing the expense report, and it was like a Disney project or something. So she was just so stoked about doing this, like arranging receipts just because it was like industry adjacent. And her enthusiasm was just like, yeah, why am I like so salty? Like I'm at the WB property house and I'm just like, there's no air conditioning, but people are like doing a tour of like where I'm currently working. And I'm like, yeah, let's put this in perspective. Like I'm grateful to be in this world, and I'm grateful for like the enthusiasm of anyone coming in and being in awe of the work that this community does, because it keeps me alive. And then number 10, I have to be grateful for Jordan specifically. Jordan championed me being a writer in Deadline Junkies. Like I started as an actor, and I think I had like some sketches, and I was like, can I just do like a celebrity spot? And then before I knew it, I was on the rotation. Before I knew it, I was part of your Christmas movie. You invited me on to write the Love at First Sight, and that was during the pandemic when not only was the whole world falling apart, but I had my own personal tragedy, and I was like, I can't write comedy, what the heck? And then it was just like a total blast, a total escape to write it. And then before I knew it, we were like on set and I'm playing the lead. And I'm like, how did we get here? I never remember agreeing to any of this. And it's always can boil back down to Jordan. And I've always called Jordan like an engine. Like you're about hell yes people. Like I have to give you credit for being the engine to like keep those hell yes people going. So thank you, Jordan, for always inviting me onto things and championing me.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, all right. David.
I'm like, now Jordan's mascara is running.
Always.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'm gonna go off camera really quick. No, I'm kidding. All right. I'm gonna spin the wheel for David though, just so we can hear it.
Oh, thanks. Yes. I'm telling you, just people with last names start with W. We always go last.
David.
Oh.
Yay.
Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes.
It's a fun sound.
Yeah. Okay. So starting at the top of my list, number one, the ability to work on a script coverage for a living. Not just because it's given me steady work and it's paid the bills for a lot of years, but it's just like it's given me the chance to read scripts, write about them, learn from the scripts, and basically get paid to do so. In the process, it's just I'm basically getting paid to be more educated on scripts, which is just such a great job. And I get to make my own hours. It's just like I really couldn't ask for a better, more flexible job that's just really been providing for me for a long time. Number two, this should come as no surprise. I'm also going to say Deadline Junkies for all the reasons that have already been said. But it really just feels like it feels like the big bang of so many good things that have come my way in my life out here in LA. It feels like so many of those things can be traced back to Deadline Junkies. Not only some of the most talented people I've ever met, but also just some of the best friends I've ever made in this town. They're all very sincere and just good people, and they've given me a lot of opportunities through that group. And it's just it really just feels like the gift that keeps on giving. I'm always in these like social situations where it's like me and someone else from Deadline Junkies talking to someone else about Deadline Junkies who doesn't know what it is. And they're like, "What's Deadline Junkies?" And me and the people who are in the group have this like difficulty to even explain it. We're all just like, "Oh my god, Deadline Junkies!" Just like we can't even like. I think we scare some people away because of that, because we're just so excited about it. And it's just one of those things that feels so good that you can't even like put to words how awesome and amazing it is. So yeah, Deadline Junkies is amazing. Number three, I had a hard time describing what number three is, but then when you guys talked about hell yes people, I was like, that's the thing. That just people in your life who are just always willing to work on a project, even if the project doesn't necessarily guarantee some kind of like success in the near future, whether that's financially or some kind of fame or recognition. Just people who are always willing to help. And I think I come to appreciate that the older I get, because when you first move to LA, like everyone in your life is kind of like that hell yes person, because we all move here for those reasons. But I think the older we get and the more life things come our way, the more responsibilities we get, the more we tend to just kind of fall away from just kind of that excitement just to do a project because we're excited to do it. So I really have come to appreciate those people who are just always so tried and true and reliable to just kind of like always be willing to help you and always be excited to help you and always just go that extra mile, even if they don't necessarily have to or don't feel like an obligation that they need to. So I'm really grateful for those types of people. And by the way, everyone in this Zoom call is that person to me. Number four, it's kind of the flip side of that coin. I'm really grateful for friends of mine who aren't in the industry at all, especially just living in Hollywood and Los Angeles. I find that I can so often get wrapped up in just movie business talk 24/7 that it's really nice to have people in my life who I can go to and not have our conversations tie back to any like movie reference at all. That's just like a very refreshing. It's nice to just kind of have that variety in your life so you don't get so wrapped up in movies all the time that kind of becomes your identity. So I'm very grateful for those people in my life. Number five, my parents. I feel like I kind of go against the grain where I think a lot of people who move to LA are doing so because they don't have a safety net or they don't have a support group. So they kind of like ran away from that. But for me, my parents have always been super supportive of me, which I'm sure hasn't been always easy for them because they don't know the industry very well. And I don't necessarily do a good job of describing the industry to them. So I'm sure I've had many phone conversations with them that have started with me giving them some piece of news that makes them worried about my well-being in LA, but they've always been supportive of me no matter what. And that's always just been like one of those reliable crutches in my life that I know has always been there and will always be there. Number 6, another consistent one, Love at First Bite. The opportunity to direct a feature was just, I mean, the 2 weeks we spent doing principal photography on that movie were by far my favorite 2 weeks of living out in LA. Maybe my favorite 2 weeks of my life. I mean, that might be a bold statement, but I mean, it was just so much. It was so much fun. And it was happening right at the end of kind of our time in quarantine with COVID. And just the opportunity to work with so many people who I already knew were talented because I knew a lot of them through Deadline Junkies, but then just to not only see them in real time using their talents, but to be the director of those talents was such a humbling experience for me. And it was just yeah, it felt like the culmination of a lot of great things. And I'm just going to be forever thankful for that experience. Number 7, paid writing assignments. Any time I've had the opportunity to make money writing a script, whether that's like a pilot or a short film. I even got paid to work on a graphic novel at one point, which is just incredibly fun. And I'm grateful for those assignments, but I'm also grateful for the people on those projects who basically trusted me enough with their own ideas to bring me on board. So I'm very grateful for those people because it's one thing if you just fund your own project, your own ideas, but to have someone in your life who trusts you enough with their own ideas to make you a collaborator on those ideas is just something that I'm always happy about and I'm always grateful for. Let's see, where am I? Number 8. Okay, so number 8. This isn't industry specific, but I'm grateful for the first job I had out in LA, which was a job serving tables at a retirement community in Glendale. It just really it helped me to kind of adjust to the waters in LA. I really felt like I was an outsider, and a lot of the people working at this retirement community were locals to Glendale and locals to LA, and they really just kind of accepted me as one of their own. I never felt like I never felt like I was like the odd man out in that group of employees. And really just like some of the first friends I ever made out here were in that job. And so not only did it help to pay the bills and just help me stay living out here so I could pay rent, but also just to meet real people in LA was just such a great way to kind of get me used to moving to a new place, because it was a big move for me. And I think that job really helped to kind of bridge the gap between where I came from and out here. Number 9, the ability to work remotely. Every once in a while I have to drive somewhere during rush hour, and every time I do, I'm like, I'm so glad I never have to do this on a regular basis, because some people do, and like a lot of people still do. And I'm just so happy that it's just like it kind of like someone mentioned this earlier, but it's like you don't realize like how grateful you are for something like that until you have to commute somewhere or drive in rush hour. And it's just one of those things that I try to keep reminding myself that I'm grateful for. Number 10, this is kind of similar to what Gloria was saying about being like the type of person who people recognize your face. I'm kind of like on the flip side of that, where I like seeing friends of mine in movies and TV, or like people in front of the camera or people behind the camera. I just love being able to go to a movie and saying that I know someone either in front of the camera or behind the camera in that movie, because I think sometimes it's easy for me to forget that I live in Hollywood until like I'll give it a specific example of this. I was talking to some friends of mine on the East Coast, and they were talking about shows they were watching, and then a couple of them started talking about the Cyberpunk TV show, and I was like, oh, like I know like my friends in that show, Gloria, and they're like, they didn't believe me. They're like, oh no, we're talking about like that show on Netflix. I'm like, yeah, that's the show. Like my friends in that show. And it's just like moments like that where I'm just like, oh, that's right. Like I live in Hollywood, and that's like really, really cool. It's just this. I love those like surreal moments where you're like watching a movie and you see like a famous person interacting with like your friend that you live down the street from. You're like, oh my gosh, that's like, it's like this weird intersection between like your real world and like this fantasy life of Hollywood that makes you go like, oh yeah, that's right. Like I live in Hollywood, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess I don't know how to encapsulate that, what I'm thankful for with that, but I'm just thankful for the opportunity to see my friends in these larger than life movies.
Woo!
And that's it for me.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Does anybody want to plug in those socials? I just thought about that too.
Oh yeah, of course.
All right, cool. Let's do that. Let's go opposite order, because David doesn't have to go last then. If David has David, do you have socials you want to plug in?
Not really. I'm like not the actor in this group, so I don't have any plugs. I don't know, like Love at First Bite is gonna be a good movie when it comes out. That's not really a plug. That's not really a plug though.
Well,
Yes, it is.
yeah, it is. Yeah,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
directed it.
It's
Yeah,
marketing.
that's right.
Yeah. So instead of following something, go watch that movie.
Yeah, when it comes out, if you're listening to this after 2025, our movie's probably out, so go watch it.
Stay tuned. You could maybe follow an IMDb. Is that a
Yeah,
thing? Or if
Okay.
you follow any of us, I'm sure it'll.
yeah.
All right, cool. Who's next? Glow.
Me, you can find me on all the socials at Glow Tsai. So it's GLOWTSAI. I'm on TikTok with that. I'm on Instagram with that. I'm on Facebook with that. All the places.
Nice. I just pretty much do Instagram now. I get sick of Facebook and Twitter. It's too much. I don't know. Too sad a lot of times. So I just do Instagram. I'm on Instagram as screenwriter Jordan. Gloria.
So I mostly do Instagram too. I will occasionally check Facebook. I am not on TikTok and I am not on Twitter anymore. So Gloria Garayua, Garayyua. So that's for my socials for acting stuff. But I did want to say, like, one of the classes I'm teaching at the college I work at does not require a prerequisite. So if anyone's listening and actually wants to take an acting class at a lower price point, because it's community college prices, I work at El Camino College right now, and Theater 114 does not require a prerequisite, so you can be in my class. Yay! So, and then I do teach privately. If anyone's interested in that, just email me at gloriagarayua@gmail.com, and that's all over my Instagram. So my email is not a secret. So you can just email me if you're interested in private acting coaching. Yes. So most things are on Zoom, actually. And even people that live in LA prefer Zoom, so you don't have to drive.
Try to
For the
find
record-
Most of my people are on Zoom. I love it. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Marisa.
I'm mostly on Instagram at Marisa Dzintars, phonetically MARISAD as in David, Z as in zebra, I as in ignorant, N as in Nancy, T as in Tchaikovsky, A as in are we done yet, R as in are we done yet, and S as in see you later.
You've done that before, haven't you, Marisa?
Oh, it's my favorite party trick.
I think that was a stand-up act before Marisa joined. Awesome. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you, everyone. All right. Well, thank you so much. That was a great episode. It was cool. It was awesome to hear all the things they're grateful for. I'm gonna go cry now after Marisa talked about me. No, no. I got a client at 3:00. I ain't got time for that.
No time to cry.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, too. And
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving,
you know what?
everyone.
You know what I want to do? I thought about this. I want to end every podcast episode with a joke. So does someone have a joke they wanna say?
Mm,
I should have told you guys this before.
yeah. I only know stupid jokes. Like, what
That's
do you
fine.
call a bird that lives by the bay?
A bagel.
Yes. Okay, what do you call something that's red, white and black and red all over?
Red.
What?
A newspaper.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
I have a series of beef ones.
go for it. Go for it. This is your.
So I can remember them. What do you call a cow with 3 legs?
What?
Tri-tip. What do you call a cow with 2 legs? Lean beef.
Thanks. Is there a 1-leg one?
What do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef.
Oh.
What do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea.
If you want to learn more about screenwriting, you can check out my on-demand courses, group courses over Zoom, and one-on-one coaching on my website at www.jordanimiola.com.